Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Meliza Adelia with NPM 234111045. On this occasion, I will present material based on the topics specified in the courses I'm taking. The material will cover important concepts related to theory and their real-world applications. I hope that the explanation I have provided can be understood well and is beneficial for all of us. Okay, next I will go into the material discussion. In this slide, I will explain the internal control system and its relationship to behavioral aspects. An internal control system is a series of policies and procedures designed by a company to ensure that all operational activities run effectively and efficiently, financial reports can be presented reliably, and the company complies with applicable regulations. In general, this system encompasses various aspects, such as segregation of duties, authorization procedures, oversight, and evaluation processes. All of this aims to minimize the risk of errors and fraud within the organization. However, it's important to understand that an internal control system doesn't operate automatically. It's still run by humans, so its success depends heavily on the behavior of individuals within the organization. This is where the behavioral aspect becomes crucial. Behavioral aspects encompass an individual's attitudes, motivations, perceptions, and values. Every employee has a different way of thinking and acting, so their responses to control systems can also vary. For example, some employees comply with rules because they have a high sense of responsibility and awareness. However, others comply only because they are being watched, and some even deliberately break rules when they see an opportunity. In this slide, we will discuss the relationship between internal control systems and individual behavior in more depth. The first is compliance with regulations. An internal control system will only function effectively if individuals adhere to established procedures. This compliance is not simply about following the rules, but also about recognizing that these rules are for the common good. Second is work motivation. High motivation will encourage individuals to work optimally and responsibly. Motivated employees tend to be more disciplined and committed to their work. Conversely, low motivation can cause employees to become less concerned with existing regulations. Third is pressure and the work environment. Pressure from superiors or demanding targets can make individuals feel pressured to achieve certain results, even if it means breaking rules. An unhealthy work environment can also trigger negative behaviors, such as unfair competition or a lack of cooperation. Fourth, ethics and integrity. These are crucial factors in determining individual behavior. Employees with high integrity will adhere to rules even when unsupervised. They recognize that their actions must align with moral and professional values. Furthermore, organizational culture also influences individual behavior. If the organizational culture supports honesty and transparency, employees are more likely to behave positively. However, if the organizational culture is less supportive, negative behaviors can more easily emerge. Thus, the relationship between internal control systems and individual behavior is very close. Both must support each other to achieve organizational goals. In this slide, I will explain the impacts and challenges in implementing an internal control system related to behavioral aspects. One of the main challenges is a lack of discipline in implementing procedures. Even though a company has a good system in place, not all employees consistently implement it. This can render the system ineffective. The next challenge is the existence of conflicts of interest. In some cases, individuals may have personal interests that conflict with the interests of the company. This can lead to irregularities or fraud. Furthermore, a lack of understanding of the system can also be a problem. If employees don't understand the purpose and operation of the internal control system, they are less likely to implement it effectively. In conclusion, the internal control system and behavioral aspects are two elements that are interrelated and cannot be separated in an organization. Internal control systems are designed to ensure that company activities are conducted effectively, efficiently, and in accordance with applicable regulations. However, the success of these systems depends heavily on the behavior of the individuals who implement them. Individual behaviors, such as compliance, motivation, ethics, and integrity, play a significant role in determining whether a system will function effectively. A good system will not deliver optimal results without positive behavior. Furthermore, various challenges such as work pressure, conflicts of interest, and a lack of ethical awareness can impact the effectiveness of internal control systems. Therefore, companies need to take behavioral aspects seriously. Efforts that can be made include building an organizational culture that supports positive values, increasing ethical awareness, and providing ongoing training to employees. By striking a balance between good systems and positive behavior, companies can reduce the risk of errors and fraud, and improve overall performance. Ultimately, the success of an organization is not only determined by the systems it has, but also by how the people within it operate those systems. That is the explanation that I can convey regarding the material that has been discussed. From this discussion, it can be concluded that the topics studied have an important role in increasing our understanding, both in theory and in practice. Hopefully this material can increase insight and be useful for all of us. I would like to thank you for the attention you have given. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.